Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Juicy Loops Gaming. Tonight I'm going to be showcasing for you guys the mechanic job, which, no, I put it in Discord, but I already recorded this video once, so try to make it short, sweet, to the point. Just to kind of give you guys a rundown of how it works, so we don't have to explain basically the same concept to everybody, multiple times. Just makes it easier for everyone. So I'm going to be here at the Hayes Auto Shop here. It's one of the MLOs I added, one of the Gabs MLOs. So yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys the basics of how it works. Of course, if you still have questions or anything, you're welcome to make a ticket and ask. Credit for the script, I can't claim any credit for it. I didn't make it. It's a script by Jim Mechanic, which will probably be in the title of the video as well. So this is basically just showcasing for our players how to use the job, and then for you other YouTubers as well. It's also a video so that you guys can kind of see how the job works, and maybe you're interested in it. I think it was only like 15 bucks to be honest, so it's really not a huge cost, especially for how much it does. So let's get started here. So there are multiple mechanic shops on the map for you guys that are going to be working as a mechanic. When you see this, like the highlighted collared wrench here, so like this one isn't highlighted, it's just black. So we still have the original mechanic job. So that's where you're going to see, the basic black wrench. But any of these ones right here that are, more highlighted and lit up. I actually don't know what that. Oh, I think that's the old depot actually. So yeah, you can do it there. You can set up your shop wherever you want. If you guys want to work together, that's cool. If you want to, kind of run and own your own shop, that's cool too. I am not sure if there's any of these. More of these mechanic shops can be added in later on, but yeah, it looks like there is one up here in Polito. Let's see if there's one in Sandy anywhere. So I don't see one in Sandy, but like I said, I can always add in more locations. But oh wait, there is one on Route 68 right here at this little job, this little auto shop there. So now the main thing is, like I said, you guys can work at your own locations or you can work together. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me. You can work at different locations at different times. The main thing is though that you're gonna see not necessarily these exact same workbenches, but something like these around the shop. Workbenches, and then maybe these. So there's two ways you can get your items. You can actually craft them, so you can go and make the steel and plastic and iron or whatever it is that you need to make that item, which only for this location. They're going to be in different spots for each location, which you should just kind of look around and try to see. I'm not going to go through every spot and point out all the different interactions, but this is the crafting here. So this is where you can actually craft the item, and it tells you what you need to craft it. And then if you don't want to craft it, not a big deal. You can actually just grab the items from the store instead. So you're just going to browse the store. And this is basically where, like I said, you can get the items for free. You don't have to craft them. And this is where you can get all the items that you need. Now, I already have a ton of items in my inventory since I've been working as a mechanic the last week or so, trying to understand everything myself. So real quick, the mechanic tools is going to be what you use to repair the car. So you're going to use the mechanic tools just right next to their vehicle, and I'll demonstrate for you a little bit on this stuff, but the mechanic tools is for repairs basically, and maintenance, updates, things like that. Now if you want to do upgrades and add more things to it, or see like what level their engine or transmission or brakes are at now and what level is the max for that. For example, you can't put a tier 5 engine in a vehicle that only allows tier 4. So the toolbox is really what's going to be used for that. It's going to show you if it's got turbo in it already, the supercharged turbo, or if it's got it's going to basically give you a rundown of what it has now and what can be upgraded. The duct tape is going to be something that I'm going to add to the regular like convenience stores, because duct tape can be used by players. So if their car is smashed and it needs repaired, it'll give it like 50%. That way it at least kind of keeps it together just like duct tape does until you can get it to a mechanic shop and get it fixed. I will tell you guys, with the new mechanic job, it does offer some more realistic damage on your vehicle, and you also have to keep it maintained because it'll track the mileage on the vehicle. So if you ever have trouble with it just randomly shutting off or any issues in general, it's going to be something to do with one of these things like the axle or the car battery, spark plugs, or car oil. So your cars that you have now are going to take these sort of things, and you have to maintain them and keep them up to date with it. So just keep that in mind. If you're ever having issues with your car, just take it to a mechanic and they can fix it up for you. Now, like I said, I'm going to be demonstrating this stuff here. I'm not going to go through each individual item. Basically, just like in any other instance, you're just going to drag the item to use or put it in your hotkeys. Most of these items, so these items right here, they will typically disappear after you use them, except for the mechanic tools and toolbox. The other items, they will disappear after you use them. Now when it comes to like upgrades like engines, drift tires, transmissions, things like that, they won't. They'll just stay in your inventory. There is no stash for regular employees. There is for managers, and I'll go down by the to the Benny's by PDM and show you guys at the end of this video. I'll show you the few interaction points there, and then I'll also show you like the boss menu and things like that. We'll come up with, there's 4 ranks just like there's other jobs like police and ambulance, and we'll work on some kind of, we'll try to get like a manager and come up with a name. So if you guys got any ideas for that, let us know. We've got a little bit of a uniform set out. We're going to be making a mechanic channel just and add you guys, give you the mechanic role, just to make things easier for you, keep everything organized there. We can kind of toss ideas back and forth, and maybe come up with a name for the company, or you guys can have individual names for your own company. It really doesn't matter to me, but yeah, that's on another note. So obviously here you've got your mechanic tools, you got your performance tools, and pretty much everything here in mechanic tools, besides like the tent supplies and the spray can, these are going to be all for repairs, and you're gonna want to keep your mechanic tools and toolbox on you at all times. That's pretty much how you find everything out that you need to know about the vehicle. You don't want to just guess and try to add different stuff. It just takes a lot of time. Then you got your performance items, which are your upgrades for your brakes and suspensions and bulletproof tires and drift tires. And this is what I was talking about with the tiers. When you use your toolbox, it's going to show you like tier, the engine is 0 of 3. So you can't put like a tier 4 or tier 5 engine in it. You can only put a tier 3 engine in it, because that's only the max that it allows. You can add in, the vehicle armor and bulletproof tires. For another thing we need to do with the mechanic channel with passing ideas is come up with like prices for things and how we're gonna bill people for that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking NOS bottles we should probably make pretty expensive, and then they also have to get them refilled as well. So I'm thinking maybe 50 to 100K for NOS bottles, just with how our economy is. I mean, it's pretty easy to make good money, and we should try to keep it more of a higher end item, that isn't given out frequently or cheap. And then you got your bulletproof tires, drift tires. When you're adding tires, make sure you're actually near the wheel, and it'll give you a prompt and tell you need to be close to the wheel. If you're wanting to add NOS, it has to have a supercharger turbo installed first in order to use the NOS. And then once you have the NOS, you can actually use the collar injector and make your own collars, which I'm going to show you guys that here in a minute. Let me make sure I have a NOS collar injector, and I have NOS, and everything I need. And then you got the cosmetic items here, which are just a lot of extras, really. You don't use the exterior cosmetics because that's the actual extras on the vehicle. Make sure that it actually allows extras before you do it, or it'll completely break the car. So just keep that in mind. Always diagnose and see what you're working with first before you just start trying to add a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so you get custom wheel rims, roll cage, if it allows a roll cage. Not every vehicle is going to allow all the extra items here. So all right, let's get started. I got this beautiful McLaren here. It's also animated, so it lights up around the back and sides and fronts. It does have a little bit of damage. We're gonna go ahead and smash into this wall here, just so I can show you guys a little bit of how the body repairs and things work. And eventually I will be taking out the old QB Customs, the Bennies, basically, is what we refer to it as. But yeah, so one thing you can do while you're inside the vehicle is do a preview. So if you're the customer, if you do slash preview, first of all, make sure you have I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Make sure that you have the owner of the vehicle, you have their keys. Just makes it easier, because if the vehicle's locked, you can't do anything to it. So if they drop off the vehicle and it's locked, then it's going to sit there the whole time until they get back and give you the keys for it. So it's best to just grab the keys. Now, make sure that's running. I hate to be talking this whole time and the recorder's not running. So yeah, you can do slash preview in the vehicle, and let's say the customer wants to see what Formula Red looks like before they purchase it. Or they want to see what Blaze Red looks like, or whatever it may be, gold. So you can kind of give them an idea of what it looks like before you add it. You also have the awesome chameleon options in here, which aren't shown in Bennies. So there are a few things you can do with this job that you can't do with Bennies. But yeah, these are kind of all the different options you can do here, and these are just kind of some new colors that you can add in, but you can mess with that, and if you ever want to pull your own car in and do some stuff on that, then just to practice, that's quite alright. Probably a good idea. But yeah, you got your wheel collar and all these things. So right now we're just in the preview menu, which once again I just did /preview, and it's giving me the options, only certain options, but like, hey, what is the pure black window tint gonna look like, or what would the plates look like if they were yellow on black instead of what they are now? The rims, what do the track 90s running rims look like in variant 7? So yeah, basically just a preview of what it would look like if you added that. Now you'll see once I get out of the car, all this stuff is going to disappear because we were only in a preview menu. The one thing that doesn't, and I don't know why, is the window tint, but you can always fix that. You can go back into preview and change it back, or you can just grab your tint supplies out of your inventory and put it back to the way it was. But alright, so let's use these tools. So you got the mechanic tools in 4, toolbox in 5. So although they're in my hotkeys, I can just press them. I'm just going to drag them just so you guys can see what I'm using. So he's going to do a little bit of animation. He's kind of checking out the car, seeing what's going on with it. Remember, the toolbox that I'm using now, or the mechanic tools rather, is going to be for repairs. So you're going to see on the repairs, the engine, the body, and the fuel tank are always going to need materials, whether that be plastic or iron or steel. So it's a good idea to do. You can do the recycling job up in Polito, get some supplies. You can go in dumpsters and get supplies, materials. I don't have a plan to add a shop in right now that has like supplies in it that you can just grab. You can also take vehicles up to the scrap yard and scrap them, get materials out of that. But there's plenty of ways to get those type of materials. I'm sure I can add in those materials in the future, but it's just not an option right now. It's not in there, so it's going to tell you what it's going to cost. So like to fix the engine here, we need 1 iron, which I'm not sure if I have any. Yeah, I do have iron. So and it's going to give you a little progress bar, just basically telling you that you're repairing the engine. That's going to put you back in the menu. Now if we want to fix the oil level, we need the actual car oil from the first category in the shop. So we're going to use that. That first category is going to be mainly your repair items, and then you've got like paint and tint. Now, the last thing is the body, since we wrecked it a little bit, and you're just going to need 1 plastic for that. You really don't need a lot of materials for these things, and if you did the recycling job a few times or ran around in dumpsters, I'm sure you could have plenty of materials for a while. So, alright, now everything's 100%. Looks all good here. We're going to make sure, instead of clicking escape, you're going to want to click close out of this menu. That way all the doors and stuff close. Just makes it a little bit easier, and you don't have to go back through and close each individual door. Okay, now, so for the next part, we just got done. That's basically the mechanic tools, which is 1 out of the 2 important items you're going to use a lot. The second one is going to be the toolbox. So here we're going to use the toolbox, and this just pops up super quick. It shows us the car, the plate, number, all that stuff. It's going to say value 0 here because this car isn't added into PDM yet. It's just one I spawned in for the video. Now, a really good point to show here. So, list of possible cosmetics. It's showing me no options available for this item. So you're not going to want to try to add, you know, a roof or a hood or, you know, some type of extra on it that it doesn't have the ability to use. And if you do, typically it's going to break the car, and you're just going to have to go back and like repair it from scratch. It's not a big deal, but you're just going to end up using and working a lot more than, you know, you wish you would have. So yeah, so it just depends on the car. Like I said, just be careful with the exterior and internal cosmetics, especially if it shows that those kind of options aren't available. Now, it's basically right here, it's giving me a rundown of what it has now and what it's capable of holding. So the engine right now is a level 0, but it can be maxed out to 4. Brakes are to level 0, it can be maxed out to 3, so on and so forth. The armor is only stock right now. The turbo, there's no supercharged turbo installed. And then you got the xenon, the lights. So just for testing purposes, I'm not going to go through each individual item and upgrade it to its full, especially since this car isn't in my garage anyway. But let's use, for example, let's go ahead, since in order for us to have NOS, we've got to have the supercharged turbo installed first. So let's throw that turbo in there. Just gonna do the little animation for you. And then let's pop down in our inventory here and grab the NOS. So we're gonna put the NOS in. It's gonna give you that little mini game. You're just gonna click E right when it's in the little E box there. Pretty easy. Sometimes it goes faster, sometimes it goes slower. And then we're going to, let's say we want to add a collar to the NOS. Now Jeff has got a hex picker that you can use. You can also just honestly Google a hex picker and you know, use that number of the color that you pick, copy, and then paste it into this part right here, and then click apply. I'm not gonna add a color right now. I'm just gonna throw, you know, black in there. But same with the other one. If you want to use the RGB picker, I'm not best with mixing colors. I didn't do very good in art, so if they want like red, green, and blue, you can make it super easy here by just putting like 255 in red and just do submit, and now it's going to change that color to red. And you'll see the color that you're putting in it because it's going to spray it out there. So Alright, now let's say, you know, we want to add a different color. So let's do chameleon color here. Let's do some type of throwback. Chameleon throwback here. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool color. But yeah, you just drag the item to use. Like I said, the spray cans and the upgrades, things like that, aren't going to disappear, but when you're using these actual repair items, they will. Let's say maybe let's put a tier 2 engine in, and then the tires, like I said earlier, you've got to be near or in front of the actual tire. So like this, let's say we want to put drift tires on this bad boy. We've got to be near the actual tire, and then we can put those on. I mean, if you guys want to do, if you don't want everybody to come to you, or you want to do roadside assistance or towing as well, let us know, because I can add the cars into luxury PDM and let you guys buy them, and then you just keep them in your garage, which will make it easier. And then you can, you know, park that car in a garage near the mechanic shop that you want to run, just to make things a little bit easier for you guys. Yeah, so that's pretty much, you know, the gist of the job itself. Obviously, you know, well, I guess I should show you guys. So after you work on a vehicle, their car isn't going to like start right away. So they're going to need to do /engine just to start the car, basically. Now, once you're done with working on somebody's car, what you can do is, obviously as a mechanic, you're going to get that regular society paycheck, which is every 10 minutes. But if you want to, you're going to want to bill somebody, so just get their ID, ask them for their pocket number, and just do /bill, their ID, say it's 1, and then the amount, you know, 4,000 or 40,000 or whatever. You can come up with your own prices and stuff, or we could try to make a price sheet and all kind of like work together on that. I'm totally open on that kind of stuff, and really don't have time to sit down and make anything like that right now. But you know, I'm happy to take input and suggestions or whatever it may be. There are no more upgrades to this job. I can't add in, you know, different engine sounds or different exhaust pipes, or there. It is, this job is, it is what it is. Like I said, it's not my script, it's a Jim Mechanic script, and it's locked through the 5M escrow system. So I can't make any changes beyond the config file, which is mainly like the locations and things like that. So that's how you bill somebody, and then they can just pay it. You're only going to get 10% of what you bill them, and then you're also going to get your check every 10 minutes as well, just depending on what level you're at. And I think it's like maybe $750 to the top pay of like $3,000 or something. So and then, you know, you'll get that money, and then you'll get the commission on top of that. I can raise the commission over time, but we'll have to like lower our prices just so that kind of everything matches. But yeah, that's, for now, that's totally up to you guys. If you want to RP it as you're charging somebody too much money and they get mad, or I don't, it doesn't matter to me how you want to play it out. Just keep in mind it is a whitelisted job, so you don't want to be driving the tow vehicles around crazy, or trying to tow cop cars unless they ask, or things like that. So just keep that in mind. One thing too, as I'm discussing cop cars, you guys can connect to channel 100, because as a mechanic, you're going to be sometimes upgrading cop cars. You can't, of course, put NOS in it or anything crazy. But sometimes you will be upgrading cop cars, or you will be towing cars for police officers after they're done with a traffic stop, or they call in about a car. Because you will have a tow truck that you can buy, and it'll be in your garage. It will give everybody for free with the job. But yeah, so you can connect to channel 100. You can just, the call signs are basically just tow 1, tow 2, tow 3, whatever number of tow you are at that point in time. And that your tow call sign isn't going to necessarily stick with you. It's just, if you're the first mechanic on for the night, then you're tow 1. If you're the second mechanic on, you're going to be tow 2. If you do put NOS in players' vehicles, totally fine. Can't put them in cop cars. Just be realistic with the cop cars. You know, don't be adding. We can't be adding like this type of chameleon paint on cop cars and things like that. We just got to be realistic with it. And the cops, you can, if you run your own mechanic shop, you can make your own decision on that kind of stuff. But mainly the cops are going to pay for everything themselves. It's too difficult to like charge a whole job or a whole company or department or whatever. So now if they are using NOS and they don't know how to use it, it's super easy. I don't know actually what it is on the controller at all, but if they're using it on keyboard and mouse, it's going to be control to activate it. And if you'll see in the bottom right where my odometer is, and the odometer is important too for the mechanic job, because the player can kind of tell you, or you can get in and see what's yellow or what's red or what's causing the issue. Or you can just simply use your toolbox or mechanic tools. So for the NOS, you see in the bottom right there, I'm gonna hit control and see it's gonna activate the NOS now. Now I can do, with my keyboard, I can do page up 3 times. So the first one is gonna be the basic level, which is the white, which is like 20%, I think, 25%. And then you got page up, which is going to be around 35-40%. And then the red is going to be a full 50%. So 50% is like the max of NOS that you can use. We don't want to go to like 100 or 500% because the NOS is already pretty crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the control. And then you're just going to, once you click the level, we're just going to do a short, the lowest level here. You're just going to hold down shift. The drift tires making me drift. You're just going to hit down shift, and then it's going to rocket you. So yeah, that's how you can explain it to them if they want to know how it works. Control, page up, page down, and shift. Now there is a little cooldown period that you'll see, and it'll give you a little sound. I don't know if you heard that. It'll give you a little sound when it's kind of refilled and ready to go. But after you use it, there is about a 10-second cooldown, I believe. Let's see, here's 5, 6. Okay, 6 or a 7-second cooldown. And then, like I said earlier with the NOS, they will have to come get it refilled. And when you refill it, you're just going to drag the NOS bottle to use again, just like you're installing it the first time, but it's going to give you an empty NOS bottle that you can then take and do whatever with. Not all the locations have a stash or a storage access. Something I could possibly add in later down the line and put the materials like plastic and steel and iron in them, but just hasn't been done right now. Every fucking time. Legion Square, I swear to God. I thought taking all these trees out would fix it, but yeah, if you guys didn't notice, it's kind of looking a little naked around here. All the trees are gone. I gotta figure out what's going on with Legion Square. It's why it's causing so much lag. But anyway, I'm gonna take you guys down to the Benny's by PDM just to show you basically the locations there. If you want to use that spot, like I said, they're different at every location, but we're gonna pull in here and just run down the locations real quick and then show you guys the boss menu and stuff like that. So this is the boss menu, so when you're level 4 or up, you can use it. If you're a lower level, which when you start out, of course, you can toggle your duty on or on, but when we set your job, it's what's called a forced duty, so it's going to keep you on duty at all times unless you go off, you toggle yourself off duty. And with the boss menu here, I can show, you know, show you guys that later once you've kind of got everything understood and you want to run your own shop or be the manager there or whatever. But you can manage the employees, hire new employees, and then you have a little storage access here that you can put items in. Sorry about that. I don't know why my screen did that. Okay. Oh yeah, that's great. Wonderful. Showing everything. Okay. And then you got your little money management here. So the money management is when you charge somebody, let's say 50K, you're only going to get 10% of that when you bill them. So you're going to get 5K, and the rest is going to go into the society money here, which, you know, when you're manager or whatever, you can deposit that money in, you can take it out and use it on mechanic expenses or whatever you want to do. This does have a little charge customer thing here, but I don't have that. The gym mechanic, he also makes a billing script, but I don't have that integrated with our server yet. So just use /bill, it'll make it a lot easier. Or you can have them just pay you on Venmo, whatever works best for you. So for this spot, you've got the mechanic crafting here, which is where you can craft the items. And then over here you've got the area where you can actually browse the store, just like the other one, and just grab your items, you know, for free so that you can use them. That's pretty much it for all the locations. A small little tip here: these are like all over the map, and you can actually craft the items that you need out of these. You don't always have to go down to the crafting, but that's just a little tip right there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm missing anything. Besides, I will show you guys one more thing. Not all the mechanic stores have these, but when the customs is taken out, the bennies, we have enough mechanics to run everything. When there's a mechanic in the server, it won't allow you to use these benches at all. But if you see, while I'm in my car, you use your eyeball on these benches, and then you can use the repair station. Like there's one down in MRPD. Right now it's going to tell me there's a mechanic on duty, but when there's not and Benny's is taken out, then you can just use these benches to repair your cars or change your paint. You can't do like upgrades or anything like that until a mechanic is on, but we're trying to make the mechanic stuff more roleplay related, and you know, try to keep a mechanic on a majority of the time, we shall say. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for now. But if you have any questions, I'm sure I didn't cover everything. Make sure you try everything first yourself and try to figure it all out, and then if you have any questions, you know, feel free to ask. But that's gonna be it for today, guys, and as always, if you have any questions, message us, create a ticket, use /calladmin, but you know, play around with it a little bit first and see how you like it. So that's it for that, guys, and I appreciate y'all for watching. Juicy out.